Hi guys! When I last left off my Project Life walkthrough last time, which I'll link up here, I was on week 27 and I have now finished the rest of my 2017 album, so I thought I would carry on walking through the album with you. There were a couple of times in this album where I had skipped pages, so I went through a huge stack of weeks putting them into page protectors, and then when I went to put them in the album realized I had missed a page, so I did just make a little filler page here with some really pretty things that Michelle from the Stamp Spot sent me, just a couple of photos that I'd gone back between these weeks to pick out. So there are a few filler pages in here like that where I've made those sorts of mistakes. And obviously, like, there's a lot of teal in this album. Most of this album, I guess, is Citrus Twist kits, Pocket Life kits, and I always tend to go for the more tealy elements in those kits. There were a few pages throughout here, certainly towards the second half of the album, that weren't from a kit. They were just pieces from my stash, and this is one of those. And I will say those end up being some of my favourite pages because I do just have so many beautiful things in my stash, and so this year I'm really going to make a concerted effort to actually use them. One of the things I had wanted to do after looking through my first half of the album was definitely use more pretty elements, so more sequins, more see-through pockets, that sort of thing. So this one definitely was where it started. And that's one of my favourite pages of the whole year, and I'm really a big fan of doing different shaped photos. Like, I've used these page A protectors the whole way through this year, but I do love it when I put a panorama photo in or an enlargement, something like that. This was just a little insert I had done with some Feed Your Craft stamps just to document the fact that I now work from home. And then this was one I've just finished. After I got to the end of the album, I went back and filled in any gaps. So this was one that I've just filled in with the latest, I think it's Pattern Play kit from Feed Your Craft as well. So this side's about my work life, and this side's, I guess, my crafty life. Pages with circles in. I love them. They're quite hard for me to work with. Circles are not a natural element for me, but I love it when it works well like that. So this was a week from one of my DIY kits. So again, love these weeks because they're just filled with my favourite things. And same, more sequins. This was a Studio Calico kit, which works really nicely with my sequin photo. Another DIY kit, and it actually ties in really nicely. This was a Citrus Twist kits, and the colours work really nicely, so I like when that happens too. These are two separate weeks, but they coordinate really nicely as a spread. I have tried somewhat successfully, I guess, for me anyway, the second half of the year to add a bit more journaling, and I'm not a great fan of my handwriting, so I do prefer the typed journaling like this. So I have tried to leave spaces, filler cards to add in a little bit more journaling. This is one of my digital kits from the Stamp Spot that I had converted from Traveller Notebook size into Project Life size, and I really love how easy it is to do that. Another cute page from Citrus Twist with green. I actually used green and I really like it. Maybe one of my only ever 2-page spreads, but this was maybe the best week I've had all year. Yeah, I took a week off from work. My sister came and visited. We went on little trips, played tourists in our own town, and it was a fabulous time. So I'm so happy to have the 2-page spread, but also the 2 different sizes in my photos as well. So there were definitely some weeks where that intention to journal more didn't really work, but I still love it anyway. I've never claimed that my Project Life album is strictly for memory keeping purposes. It is a lot of therapy for me too. I love playing with pretty paper, and so that's a lot of it as well. There's not really any intention that this is going to document my life for anyone else in the future other than myself, and I like looking at pretty pictures, so this style works for me as well. This was another little filler page that I had done with some Kelly Stamps summer stamps, because although we weren't quite in summer yet, we had a real heat wave, well for us anyway, and so that definitely required documenting. And again, then I ended up with this page that needed filling on the back. So I've just used my latest Citrus Twist kits to make a page about coffee. They had a really great by the numbers stamp set available this month, and it was perfect for, I mean, that's just a made up number. It could be quite true, I suppose, but any sort of number based documenting you wanted to do for the end of the year, that would be a great stamp set to get. This was another page from one of my DIY kits, and a really important week for me. You guys will know that by now. And then getting down towards the end of the year, I did try and get back on with the journaling. It was a few hard weeks. If you've been watching along, we very nearly bought a house and then didn't buy a house, so it was a couple of really tough weeks, so I was trying to add a little bit of journaling into there. And then, well, it's not really back to no journaling. Then I hid some journaling in here, and once I started putting my weeks into the page protectors, I realized that this sort of hidden journaling wasn't necessarily going to work because it's actually on the back of the page protector. So to get that journaling out, you would actually have to pull the whole card out from the other side to look at the journaling. But considering that I wanted it hidden for a reason, I'm not seeing that as a bad thing. I could have gone in and just filled this page with something else and then started again on that side, but I decided just to leave it as it was. Some more sequins. I love this sort of pretty page, this paler colours. I guess it's more summery for me. It's really hard to take nice light bright photos here a lot of the time. We don't have a great deal of light here, so I love these sort of lighter weeks. I also love using unusual things, so I grabbed a digital kit from Brandy Kincaid that wasn't strictly made for Project Lifing, but I made it work anyway. So there is a video on how I manipulated all these digital elements to make them work for Project Life. And I started this new challenge series towards the end of last year too. I don't know, do you say this year or last year? This is about last year, but I did it this year. So my 5 favorite things challenge, and I really love it. I'm going to keep doing that because I think it's a great way to actually go back through my stash and see what I have and then actually use it. Week 50, this was that latest Citrus Twist kit I was talking about, and it is just gorgeous. So this is the January kit. If it hasn't sold out by now, I suggest grabbing one because it is so pretty, and keep your eyes out because I am going to have one to give away very soon. This was another filler page I had done. I had printed this photo out. I was trying a photo technique that I had seen on YouTube, and I printed it out because I really liked the way it worked, so I decided to make just a wee filler page about it. And then I just printed another photo to fill in the back. So no journaling or anything, just photos I liked. That's from the same January Citrus Twist kit. Changed things up a little bit and didn't put 4x6 photos in, just created my own 4x6 out of 3x4s, which worked really nicely. And then last page of the year, week 52, was another 5 favourite things challenge. And then I just have one last 12 by 12 spread in there that I had done with some Kelly Stamps digital stamps and a whole pile of stitching, because this year was definitely the year of the donut for, I want to say us, but what I really mean is for me. Since we moved, there's definitely an abundance of donuts here, and so this was definitely the year of the donut. And so that is my album all finished. You can see it is incredibly full. This is probably the fullest album I've had, and I love it. I love every page of it. There's not a single thing in here that I would change. So it is totally possible to do an entire year of Project Life, and I mean, you've seen I've got so many extras in here, and fit it all into one album. So I guess that's one of the reasons that I managed to stay up to date with Project Life, is because I do keep it really simple for myself. 1 page a week is all I can really handle. I mean, I hate to say like we've got a boring life, but we have a really simple life, so I'm not sure that I would necessarily find enough photos to fill up 2 pages every week. Plus then I would have the storage issue of how many albums I've got. I've literally already filled up 1 cube on my shelf with the last 6 years of Project Life, so I don't know that I could handle any more than that. I don't know that my husband could handle any more than that, considering we've got a move coming up again. I need to be a little bit careful of how many albums I'm creating. So I'm just going to flip back through here to show you there are a few other things in here. This is a spread from my digital stamp class, and I just did a little bit of journaling about that whole experience and popped that on the back of that. This layout was from that same class as well. And then there are a few other inserts in here that I had done. Both of these are from Kelly Stamps actually, so just extra little layouts that I've popped in there. It's so fun looking back through these pages. Like, we've come such a long way this year, and I really love having somewhere that documents all of that. And all the way back to the very first weeks of the year. And there's another wee insert here. Back to my intentions for 2017, sorry, and I feel like I did kind of a good job with this. So I need to set up my 2018 album now, and I think adding one of these pages is something I'm definitely going to do. Almost as part of like my one little word project, but just things I hope to achieve this year, and it makes it a fun way to look back and see whether that actually happened or not. Thanks for looking through my album with me, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!